Hiya, and welcome to Devil's Gambit. I only know one thing about this game. Hot man make me go awooga. Anyways, let's just hop right in. It was born among screams, therein ran I, where the day is shrouded in a frigid mist and orange lights warm up the sky, where beyond the forest the mountains have eyes, and ruins and trees alike grow out of a scar, its roots spread across the earth, touching all that dared seek it. Act 1, Chapter 1, Hector, the most normal fucking name. Is there? Oh my god, fuck. Fuck. Hang on. Let me zoom in. I know it's so sad. One morning, a lion knight invited us into a wagon. Clean, relatively silent, with splinter-free seats. As it took us into the forest, Dad made me read him a book since I was failing behind in my studies. However, the twisted trees greeting us through the front opening past the wolf coachman stole all my attention. Despite his stern gaze and him telling me to read a sentence over again, my head was full of what had happened in the tavern the day before. The text has a dark mode? Hang on. The text has a dark mode? Does it? Hang on. No, it does not. While Dad drank with the wolves, I talked to the keeper's daughter, a girl about my age with gray fur, round eyes, and an impish smile, by the name of Teresa. She asked typical questions, why were my ears so round and my nose so big, where did I come from? Then the girl got bored. She shot a glance at the adults before showing me that toothy smile.
You know, there are demons in the forest. The lions say they are gone, but they aren't.
What?
You know that expedition that Luke did a while ago? Well, it was demons that killed his soldiers. The demons did it.
And what pride that last remark had carried. Eventually the path led us to an open area, and the wagon came to a halt. We got off and saw, past our fading breath, a mansion that seemed more like a castle, tall and white with a tower for every corner. A small garden separated us from the steps that led up to the entrance. Shit. Oh? Well, he's cute. That nose is so honkable. Like, if I were to poke his nose and it didn't honk, I would be disappointed. I would have to call false advertising. Staring among the bushes, tulips, and pebbles at his feet was a young wolf staring up at a window. His clothes were modest, his nape gray and his hands and face white, sort of like a badger. When he noticed us and turned around, I got a good look at his blue yet fiery eyes. It lasted long enough to make his distrust palpable. Why am I getting fucking Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure vibes? Why am I getting Dio vibes? What is he gonna do? He's gonna pose dramatically while proclaiming that he's a vampire or some shit? Then he shot the window a last glance before turning to face the nearby trees and began tossing pebbles toward the crooked branches. He's gonna kill our dog. No. Hector! Oh, yes, Dad? You're so scatterbrained today. I'm sorry. A guard is coming. Pay attention and remember to greet him the way I taught you. The tall lion wielding a spear shook hands with my father. It's an honor to be in your presence, sir. I'm Eogan, and this is my son, Hector. I opened my mouth, but the guard cut in. We've been expecting you, Doctor. Please step inside. His Grace will want to see you post-haste. And so Dad forgot all about my greeting. We followed the guard inside and upstairs. I was told to wait on the lower floor and that if I needed anything to call one of the other guards or a servant. But I kept worrying about the greeting. I sat on the first step of the stairs, clutching my knees. I didn't think there was any moment I could have introduced myself. If Dad forgot, then maybe it wasn't important. With that as reassurance, I calmed down and looked at my surroundings. Wherever my eyes went, there were paintings, suits of armor, packed bookshelves, and display cases containing weapons or smaller cases with gems inside or other shiny things. So much wealth. It would have taken me hundreds of lifetimes to work to build this hall. It was best not to touch anything, but I was getting bored and there was no sign of the adults returning. A stroll wouldn't hurt. Down the hallway leading further into the mansion, there were faint smells of spices, fresh clothes, and wolves. There must have been servants working there. The guards were all over the place, but most of them were down the path to my right. I figured I'd go to the left since I didn't want to bump into anyone. And oh? However, as I walked down the desolate hallway, my nose let me know that I wasn't alone after all. Well, hello. Twin. Where have you been? I am actually fucking twinning right now. And I didn't even mean to. I didn't even mean to. Fuck. Just fuck. I didn't even mean to. Hang on, let me turn on the webcam so you can see what I'm talking about. Like, okay. Hair's pulled back. Hair's pulled back. Check. Fucked up sides. Fucked up sides. Check. Twin. Ah, fuck. Where have you been? I didn't need to see him to know he was a wolf. I turned around suddenly, right in time to catch him trying to hide inside one of the empty rooms. Oh, it's you. Were you following me? Cadgan. What's your name? We stared at each other for who knows how long. Cadgan finally steps forward, wearing an unflinching glare. He was shorter than me and so much skinnier. The blue of his eyes and the sheen of his fur captivated me. Hiya. Get out! What? Get out of the mansion! Demons live in this forest. Oh, you're just like Teresa, trying to scare me. His ear twitches. That face. Teresa? Mm-hmm. Are you guys friends? I'm being serious. He opened his arms, inviting me to look around. The demons chased out the people living here. They'll do the same to you because you're an outsider. They'll curse you and you'll be lucky to leave alive. I don't believe you. Teresa said they only do that if you go into the valley. Not that they are real, but if they were, ask anyone. You'll see. It frustrated Cadgan that where he wanted fear, there was instead curiosity. Anyway, here you go. I'm Hector, and I'm training to become a doctor like my dad. Are you the son of a servant? I'm nobody's servant. I was taken aback by sudden rage. Did he slap us? Oh, he pushed us. He shoved me and I landed on my butt. Then the wolf turned tail and ran away. I chased after him, but he turned a corner and I lost him. Damn. Or rather, my eyes did, but I didn't need sight to track him. I followed his trail to the garden, to a little corner hidden by bushes reaching up to my shoulders. Cadgan sat cracking open nuts with his teeth before munching on the insides. His tail swished, disturbing the brush behind him, and every once in a while he pulled on his collar, as though hot under the sun. Either I made some noise or he smelled me because suddenly he faced my way. He gave me a taste of wolf knuckle and Renai's grass and dirt as well as bloody nostrils. When Dad finally descended the stairs and asked what happened, I said I slipped down the stairs while going to the garden. Now I should have been assigned to steer clear of him, but I didn't. I returned to the same spot a few days later, bringing a dozen or so nuts wrapped in a cloth. Cadgan eyed me with suspicion, but didn't hit me this time. Where did you get those? I pointed at my nose. Caught their smell when you were eating them the other day, so I went to the forest and found some. Huh. Weird you didn't get lost. All badgers are great foragers? All badgers are great foragers. Can I sit? I'll share some if you let me. The wolf looked away, and I invited myself into the small space. Pushed the cloth between us. Some nuts rolled out. I ate them. We ate them while talking. You haven't told me your name. I'm Hector. You already know it. I'd like to hear it from you. Fine. Cadgan. That's a nice name. Hey, I caught your smell in the forest. Well, yes, I sneak out sometimes. Where else would I find nuts? I heard you weren't allowed out there. Aren't you afraid of the guards catching you or of the Duke getting mad? They used to get mad, but now they know I'll be back. Dad said Cadgan was an orphan. It was better to change the subject unless I wanted an angry wolf to rough me up today too. Dad woke up to a spider in his shoe today. Cadgan snorted. Oh, what did he say? Say? He was in the middle of putting it on when he noticed it. He screamed, chased the bug around, and tossed it out the window when he caught it. Ha! Must be the curse. Sure. A chuckle escaped me as well. Even Dad had gotten a laugh out of it after the fear had passed. When are you going to the forest next? Whenever I want, I guess. I want to come along. Cadgan made a face as though he was in deep thought. I guess you proved you can handle it. You aren't that much of a wimp. I'm not. The wolf swiped a nut from my hand, cracked it, spat the shell out, and opened his jaw wide. After holding that position for a moment, he laughed and tossed it back at me. I caught it after it hit my chest. Cadgan went on about the forest, but I was still repeating what had just happened in my mind. The moment he stole the nut and cracked at his face, his sharp teeth, his claws, each left a searing mark in my memory. Act 1, Chapter 2. The Return. 11 years later. Echolocation. I didn't know we're bats. Thunder tears through the sky, startling me awake. The beasts of burden roar, the peg-legged coachman's shouts joining them as he reins them in. I grasp my chest as the old wolf subdues the creatures. He then looks back, smiling, his shape obscured by the darkness and his raincoat. You alright, boy? Huddled up. We're almost there. Yes, thank you. He refocuses on the road. I peek through the wagon's front opening, past the coachman, but all I see is rain, mud, and orange lights in the distance. He was right, judging from the last one. Were you having a pleasant dream? Yes. What about? Some beauty, I bet. Hiya. Actually, it was about my first visit to Renai. So this is your second time? I've lost count. I used to pass through every few months with my father. The coach snaps his fingers. Right, the badger doctor and his kid. You're the kid, right? You've grown into a proper doctor. Can tell just by looking at you. You stayed in Leopoldino's mansion, if memory serves me right. Did you meet any demons that used to say it was a mistake building it in the forest? That the demons would chase him out. It wasn't haunted, but no, I don't think living in the middle of that forest in such a big, empty house is healthy for the mind. Figures. Leopoldino lived there for years, and the new duke settled there right after assuming his title. You must be right. The new duke? He summoned you, right? Your daddy worked under Leopoldino, and now you work under his son. That's fate for you. What happened to Leopoldino? He died a little more than a year ago. His son took over after that. Let me tell you, if you thought Leopoldino was a beast, then his son is an actual demon. Oh, hi, bot. Here, I got it. How the fuck? Hang on. Oh. You, already did it for me. Thanks, Amethyst. Thank you. Bye, bot. An orange light. I think a window passes by the coachman and the wagon slows down. The rain falls in full fury, droplet after droplet bouncing off the old wolf's raincoat and splashing onto the floor. We're here, kid. Hurry and go. There's a tavern nearby. Holding my case above me, I hop off back into the storm. The coachman shouts and the wagon departs while I try and find my way within the blur of rain and wind. Oh, hiya. Welcome. I follow the window's orange glow like a lighthouse's signal, mud engulfing my shoes with every step. I'm so close. The noise of me rushing into the building draws some gazes. A few linger, though in time I'll return to their friends, their drinks, or a lamp hanging from a wall. Most of the patrons are wolves, with a few lions mixed in, though the latter group doesn't look like guards. They must have gotten caught up in the storm and taken refuge here, as evidenced by the occasional water drops and the wet fur smell. Sitting at a table in the corner is a lion dressed in silky clothes and a middle-aged wolf with an arm cast and an eye patch. The canine stares into an empty mug while the lion whispers to him. At his side, there is alcohol and the sweet smell of stew being prepared in the air, which immediately reminds me of how hungry I am. And, hold up. Okay, he's not naked. We're good. The bot is non-existent. I only notice the extraordinary thing about this tavern when I find the bar. Behind it is a gold-plated dragon, probably the largest man I've ever seen. He's already waving for me to get closer, a wide smile on his face. And God, what a smile! It takes me back to the way Dad looked at me after I had treated my first patient. Hey, welcome to Arwell's Nest! I'm Arwell! Looking for food? Or room? I can't take anything seriously. I can't take anything seriously. I'm not gonna make him keep that voice. Oh, it's perfect. You knew I was gonna do that? Son of a bitch, have I become predictable? Both, please. Yeah. How long are you... No. How long are you planning to stay? I'm not sure. Let's say for a while. He inspects me from head to toe. I got a special offer for you. You get a room and 2 meals just for 25 coins a day. I cringe at those last words, but still reach inside my wallet. 25? Sorry, friend, but I know you can afford it. It's clear as day you're one of His Grace's new doctors. Never has someone ripped me off so earnestly. I could wait until the rain stops to check the other ends, but walking off after that smile would leave me with an unpleasant taste in my mouth. Besides, I can't afford it. Alright, sure, you got me. Thank you kindly. Here's your key. Another bot? Damn! Oh, hiya. And thank you for banning them. Got them yowie hands. Here's your key. Arwell invites me to sit at the bar, saying lunch would be ready soon, but I would much rather unpack first. I go up the creaky staircase to the second floor and into the third door to my left. Oh, don't worry about it. The storm's howling is like a lullaby in the dark, musty room. My eyelids get heavier, though my belly's rumbling keeps the slumber at bay. I open my case on the bed to unpack, but first I look for something to dry myself with. Out of curiosity, I slightly open the window to spy through it. Below is a lamppost in the middle of the street, a few shops on the other side, and further back, the forest's outline. However, I'm more fascinated by the falling raindrops. Does he still live in Renai? I wonder. What does he look like now? Will we recognize each other if we meet? A sigh escapes my lips. Wherever you are, I hope there's a roof over your head, Cadgan. Next, I check my belt bag is properly stocked. My glasses, a few elixirs, bandages, and a pair of gloves are all tightly packed inside. This way I don't need to worry about an emergency catching me with my pants down. I'm in the middle of assembling my brewing equipment when a muffled shout comes from downstairs. Maybe Arwell is calling me because the food is ready, although it didn't sound like him. He continues and it's getting louder. Curious, I make my way to the staircase to peek down. Arwell is looking a third of his size, practically crouching behind the bar. The wolf with the arm in a cast is standing up now, hurling bare-fanged accusations at the lion. The feline glares at him, his hands clasped on the table. You can't... Hang on, let me just... You can't do this to me. Where will my family go? Be quiet, mongrel! This is out of control. It's your responsibility to pay your taxes on time. That's the fucking IRS. That said, if you lack coin and you are unwilling to let go of your property, which in actuality belongs to His Grace, there are plenty of other ways to repay your debt. A snarl escapes the wolf's mouth as he grabs the mug and raises it up high. Wide-eyed lion abandons his bravado and tries to dodge, but is too late. The canine swings the mug down, only for someone to catch his wrist. During their argument, Arwell had ran into the kitchen, calling out a name. A wolf came out later. I caught a glimpse of the blue cape and a gray back as he dashed toward the commotion. This newcomer, tall and wide as a mountain, had stopped the swing at the last second. I'm transfixed by him, trying to extract as much detail as possible from what little the cape leaves exposed. It's when he looks at the other wolf and I see his face and my mind goes numb. My legs take me downstairs of their own accord. Damn you, Cadgan. Let go. Stop it, Sean. What good will it do? Will it do you to attack him? I don't care. What's the worst that'll happen? Me being thrown in jail? Huh? At least then I can sleep under a roof. You're naive if you think the Duke will be so merciful to a man who can't even work a plot of land. Put the mug down. Oh, God damn it. Now I want to twin with him. Now I want to twin with him even more. And I possibly can. Oh no, he's hot! I possibly can because of the braids. The lion clears his throat. It's good that at least one of you is reasonable. Cadgan frowns at the lion. It's about his debt again. The Duke's patience and mercy have their limits. He must repay it one way or another. How much? Excuse me? How much is it? I'll pay for him. He reaches for his purse, but Sean protests, shock in his eye. You can't, Cadgan. You don't have that much money either. What's your plan then? I don't know, but I earn more than most. Believe me, I'll be alright. You're the one in need here, Sean. It's a rough time for all of us. We need to support each other, or else Ranai might break for good. I'm only doing what's right. Cadgan. The smaller wolf can't hold his tears anymore. Cadgan pats him on the shoulder and then continues the conversation about payment with the debt collector. So he is the fucking IRS. I'm dumbstruck on the bottom step. What a foolish expression plastered all over my face. Takes a wolf wanting to get to his room to drag me back to reality. Hey, do you mind getting out of the way? Oh, I'm so sorry. I was just, The canine raises an eyebrow and shakes his head before proceeding upstairs. Even after the tax collector leaves, preferring the company of the rain over the wolves, there's tension in the air. Arwell tries to soothe everybody's mood by announcing lunch is ready. Cadgan pats Sean on the shoulder one more time and goes to sit at the bar. Stared Cadgan all the way. Is it really him? God, he might be shorter than Arwell, but that mountain-like disposition makes him seem the biggest person in the room. And speaking of the dragon, he gestures for me to come closer. What are you doing? Why not take a seat, buddy? Yes, you're right. Thank you. Oh, please, if they're a mountain of a man, then they're absolutely my style. Every joint and sinew feels rigid as I sit next to Cadgan. Goodness, why am I so nervous? Are you afraid he'll greet you by snapping you in half like a twig, Hector? Wait, that isn't so unlikely. I'm afraid I didn't catch your name earlier, friend. Hector. I'm Hector of Oblan. The wolf's ears twitch, and slowly he looks up from the counter. By the time Cadgan's gaze falls on me, I'm resigned to whatever fate he has in store for his old friend. Back in the day, a tackle and a chokehold had become his mandatory greeting after months of absence. He was a child then. Now he's a giant. Surely he'll strangle me to death with his biceps and forearm, but despite knowing my inevitable demise, I feel at peace, even giddy, however the wolf merely looks at me. Well, that's a face I haven't seen in a long time. Indeed! You've, grown. His ear twitches. And you've become a full-fledged doctor. You two know each other? Mm-hmm. We go way back. Isn't that right, Hector? I clear my throat, mostly to buy time to gather my wits. Cadgan was one of my father's patients, but we became great friends during this time. Trying to make him sound seductive, but I might be failing. Yes. I didn't know if you still lived in town, but I was planning to look for you after seeing the Duke. To think we'd run into each other right away. A chilly wind from the times before Arwell's nest, when trees and pale sunlight surrounded us near the Duke's mansion, blows past my ears. Doesn't disturb me because Cadgan leads the way with that expression harder than any flame, stone, or iron. Sound like a mix between seductive and mic peaking? Yeah, that's because I get close to my mic. I know I'm ruining my voice. It's a little concerning. Before I let you two catch up, would you like a drink, Hector? The first one's on the house. Oh, of course, thank you. It smells great. And one for Cadgan, for helping Sean. Appreciated. Arwell retreats into the kitchen to finish preparing lunch. We take sips from our drinks while we talk. You seemed surprised a while ago. Don't ruin my voice. Did I not learn from last time? Funny thing, I don't think I have a basement. Ruin my voice like Arwell will ruin you. Damn. Don't ruin my voice. Here's the thing. Last time I ruined my voice, I got sick. That's what happened. My ass got sick. Right now, I'm not sick. However, I should still be taking care of my voice. I don't know, switching between voices constantly does not help. This is why I do vocal warm-ups, because I don't do them. And whose fault is that? It's absolutely mine. Because I like to make each character feel unique. It's absolutely my fault. This is why hydration exists. I know. I actually don't have any water on me right now. You seemed surprised a while ago. Well, I was expecting to find a skinny wolf about my height. What have you been doing to earn that physique? A lot of jobs, most of them unremarkable. Nowadays, I'm a lumberjack and the town's unofficial peacekeeper. I slapped the bar, cackling. You? Peacekeeper? You're joking. No, I'm serious. The resurfacing childhood memories bring a smile to his face. It's a small, fragile thing, and it only lasts for an instant. Then he's back to that serious expression. What does Renai even need a peacekeeper for? We've never heard about there being much trouble in town. Yeah, it used to be peaceful, but things change. Cadgan suddenly turns toward the kitchen. What is it? The food is ready. Arwell exits the kitchen carrying an enormous iron pot and begins serving the stew, which is a rather simple mix of egg, meat, and some fruit or vegetable I don't recognize. The latter part gives it an exotic smell that makes my stomach twist in hunger. Because we all stayed in the Duke's mansion, I didn't taste the local cuisine much. Leopoldino preferred ingredients imported from his homeland. I can barely resist shoving the first few spoonfuls into my mouth. Control yourself, Hector. Don't embarrass yourself in front of Cadgan so soon. Oh my god, hiya, and thank you for the bits. Thank you for the bits. Oh, don't worry about it. You know what's even better than 4 a.m. water? When you take an afternoon nap, and it's a good nap, like, you wake up, you are temporally and physically unaware of anything. You're sweaty, gross, there's drool, even grosser, and weird prints on your arm. You don't know what time it is. And you're also thirsty as fuck. You take a fucking... There is nothing that tastes better than right after that. Then right after a nap, you drink a half-empty bottle of water. There is not a single thing on this earth that tastes better. And I will die by that. I will die by that. I've taken a couple naps like that, including one right before class, and I almost flipped the fuck out. See, that's how it is at my grandmother's. I don't know why, but every single time I stay over there, I get a fucking headache. Like a migraine. Rarely resist shoveling... Yeah, I already read that one. Want some Cadgan? No, thank you. The free beer was enough compensation. Let me treat you to a bowl, then. You don't have to. Yes, let me treat him. This one's for helping in the kitchen. Arwell serves this wolf stew anyway and walks away. After my stomach is half full and my plate half empty, I recall what Cadgan said before the dragon returned. Even having noticed the darkness behind those words, my curiosity gets the best of me. What did you mean earlier by the town changing? Do you not know what's happening? I figure something bad happened, but the job description was very vague. It just said the Duke was summoning many doctors here. The wolf falls silent for a moment. It started with Monolino's arrival. Leopoldino wasn't a good ruler, but he knew there were limits to how much he should intervene with town life. He ruled Renai with an iron fist, but knew it was more profitable to keep it sane and running. Manolino, he doesn't care. He's been pulling people away from their jobs, getting them mangled out there in the valley, and sending them back home, expecting them to work and pay taxes though they didn't break an arm. That's what happened earlier. That's awful. I thought there had been a flood, a big accident, or something to that effect. I didn't think it'd be this bad. But Manolino... Oh, do you know Manoel? I know they were related, but to think he was Leopoldino's heir... Sorry, I picked up on the habit of calling him that from the others. Make sure you call him Your Grace and all that. And one more thing. The wolf lowers his voice and drags his chair closer. The touch of his arm against mine startles me. Whatever you do, avoid mentioning the legends about the demons to the Duke. If he brings them up, just let him talk and nod. And don't contradict him. He's not a fan of folklore, huh? Cadgan side-eyes a nearby table where some lions sit. It's not that. But let's talk about it later when we don't have as much company. So how about you, Hector? How's life treated you these last years? Slowly, I stir what remains of my stew. My memories of Renai are nothing but sweet, but I never think about what happened next. When I wake up, I pretend I don't know I don't know when I became a doctor or why Dad is gone. When I go to bed, it comes back to me. I shut my eyes and hope I can ignore the noise until sunrise. Maybe Cadgan wonders how come he didn't see me for 9 years, or if the situation in my town got resolved. I hope, but I don't. Daddy pries me open, wakes me up from this dream where the past doesn't exist outside of Renai. But then, what can I tell him? Let's see, surely it wasn't all bad. Find something that doesn't sour this otherwise happy reunion. How about this? Dad has passed away, now you answer the call of his clients from the city, the merchants and noblemen who call for Dr. Aogan. Give you a look when a badger half his age with round eyes round like plates and shaky hands show up on their doorstep. Shaky hands are such a bad sign. Can you be trusted to handle chemicals? Do not screw up when infusing elixirs with magic. God, you can't handle a needle like that, let alone a knife. But you convince them all. You aren't like your father, you are better. Even Mr. Daniels, always so rude, acknowledges it. Right? He puts it best. You are a masterpiece. Dr. Aogan's masterpiece. 26 years and counting in the making. Still in the making. So I can tell Cadgan about Dad's old clients, how they had reacted when I showed up and how impressed they were afterwards. And when Mr. Daniels had hit me in the face with my medical bag because he feared I'd slip and stab him with the needle while doing his stitches. You're very skilled from the sound of it. Had you been born a lion, you'd be in their capital working for the nobles and whatnot. You flatter me, but well, life dealt me different cards. Not that I'm complaining. Yes, what about your father then? Did he retire? No, he's gone. Oh, I'm sorry. Cadgan looks at the arrangement of glasses and bottles in front of him. It happened a long time ago, so it doesn't bother me anymore. Hey, how is, what's her name? Something with a T. Teresa? She's doing well. She's expecting. Yes, her. Is it her first child? Third. She had twins, both troublemakers like their mother. Don't tell her I said that. Which reminds me, what about you, Hector? What? Children, do you have any? No, I have too much work to meet with anybody, let alone think about children. Even if I had the time, I don't know if I'd want any. Wolf takes his mug, staring at the swirling substance for a long time before taking a big gulp. I see. The storm is letting up, its lullaby reduced to a pitter-patter. After cleaning my plate, I stopped to take a long look at the wolf while he finishes his. Last time I saw him, he was shorter and skinnier than me, but that didn't make him any less admirable. Now, he wouldn't be out of place illustrated as the hero of a legend or some epic. It fills me with pride that my friend has grown into such a fine man. I'm pretty rotund myself, of course, but with muscles like that, he could lift me with one arm and not break a sweat. My pride must be visible on my face, because when Cadgan notices me looking, his smile and the glimmer in his eyes are the same as he would have whenever he showed off. I look away, feeling self-conscious suddenly. After finishing his food, Cadgan looks towards the window. I should go. So soon? What for? Got some wood to deliver. Gotta keep everybody warm. The rain held me for longer than I would have liked. We get up and I follow him to the door. The breeze coming from outside surprises me, making me shiver, but it's not pouring down as hard anymore. Well, I'm glad I got to talk to you again, Cadgan. Me too. The wolf stops and turns to me with a thoughtful expression, thinking I would head back inside right away. He puts a hand on my shoulder. Oh. See, I'd die. I'd die right then and there. Yeah, I'd die. Because, I'm sorry, this is all of our dreams. And if you say no, you're a fucking liar. This is the dream. If you disagree, you either actually disagree, or you're a fucking liar. I'd die. I would explode. He pulls me closer, but it's his rugged touch and the now powerful smell of tree bark and damp earth that pin me in place. What will you do? I'll take a nap until the rain stops before I head to the Duke's mansion. Sounds good. Remember what I told you. Yes, don't talk about demons. Don't disagree with him. Will you be alright? You already sound nervous. I'm not used to how big you've gotten. Sorry. He pats me on the shoulder before letting me go. I'll come around again tomorrow. Let's talk more then. I smile. I look forward to it. I'm surprised to find my room colder than when I left it. First suspect is the window, but I remembered to close it indeed. Must be because of the rain, I suppose, or maybe it's me. What lends credence to the latter hypothesis is that laying under 2 blankets, one from the room and the other from home, doesn't help. Is it my flesh? It's not a fever, and I'm not coughing or leaking from my nostrils. Maybe nerves in. I just hope it passes. New journal entries have been unlocked. What the fuck is the journal? Act 1, Chapter 3. Aogen. Whomst. Let me look at the journal. Hector. Me. I'm a 26-year-old badger and a doctor. My biggest pride is my nose. Well, obviously. It's so boopable. I'm just looking at the journal. Hang on. Let me go to places. Magic. Herbalism. Her very own journal to eat. I know, it's awesome. Every day people came and asked Dad questions, the whys and hows of a pain they had, which herbs would help and how much they cost. Whether you skinned your knee or broke an arm and a leg, he'd patch you up. If you broke into fever, a glance was all he needed to know what was wrong. It followed then that Duke Leopoldino became interested in a wolf boy afflicted by a mystery illness turned to Dad. It also followed that the day we arrived at the mansion, behind our lavish room's closed door, he asked me why I lied. You fell down the stairs? At least I know you're not lying often because you're terrible at it. He knew even the things you didn't want to hear and had no trouble telling at all. When Grandpa was still alive and we had one of our fights, later that night Dad would talk again about the old tyrant of Oblon. That during his reign, had he asked for an education, they would have laughed him off. If he tried to grab a scalpel, they would have cut that hand off, and if he tried to run, they'd do away with a foot instead. That at my age, instead of spending his afternoons in a classroom, he was lost in a forest with trees made of cloth and a ground of mud and blood, carrying a basin as his mud and blood-caked feet splattered the sinister mixture everywhere. He went around picking up viscera that had fallen to the ground. Rather than treetops, there were hands, faces, and hanging livestock. Among the faces, Dad sometimes found Grandpa holding a large red blade. However, that was nothing compared to what the tyrant led his men to Aunt Nora and the other women when they were out foraging. Aunt Nora was also just a child back then. That was why this became the breaking point. Grandpa and his allies turned their blades against the tyrant and let him taste what being livestock is like. Put the tyrant's head on a stick, his wife and children's too, and allowed a new lord to rise to power. Thanks to that, Dad turned us into a family of doctors. Dad loved medicine. To right the wrongs, to set straight what was not, and set me straight he did. To think I would pay his efforts by telling a lie. That Cadgan kid did this, did he? His Grace warned me he'd be uncooperative. But I don't want to hear your excuses. Go to the lavatory and make yourself presentable. Clean your nose and shake that dirt off. We're seeing our patient when you return. Yes, Dad. Bitch! Our patient was Cadgan, which I didn't learn until we went into his room and found him sitting on the bed, hugging his knees and staring daggers at us. He didn't dare do anything with Dad in the guard there, but my father didn't approach him. He looked ready to jump at us, baring his fangs whenever Dad got too close, and while the guard kept us safe, him being there made it clear this wouldn't be easy. So we kept our distance at first. Dad retrieved his prismalium crystal and gathered magic in the palm of his hand. The crystal began hovering in front of him. At his request, I took his journal and got ready to take notes. With a single eye, Dad looked at Cadgan through the crystal. He seems alright at a glance, and the prismalium isn't picking up on anything either. That lines up with what the Duke already knew. The crystal, depowered, landed on his palm. Let's wait before we continue with this. In the meantime, Cadgan, I'd like you to answer some questions. Please don't be afraid, we are only here to cure you, do you understand? First, how do you feel throughout the day? Do you notice any symptoms right before or after you fall unconscious? All questions fell on deaf ears. Suddenly, Cadgan slumped over. Dad reached into his pocket for the green crystal. What is this? Life force is flowing outwards from one of the inner layers and bouncing all over the place. Nerves, bones, flesh, skin, all 4 layers were compromised. Irregular as it was, this didn't hurt Cadgan besides making him go unconscious around a specific time of day. No matter how much we tried to wake him up, he wouldn't respond until his life force stopped running rampant. What it did was confuse Dad. He didn't know what he was looking at. He couldn't tell. No matter how many times he looked, how much he speculated, tried elixirs on the wolf, he couldn't understand or set it straight. Started anticipating the daily checkup, but that wouldn't be enough. No, Dad's confusion gave rise to a new greed within me that wouldn't be sated so easily. So despite how poorly our first encounter went, I would try to befriend Cadgan again. Figured more of those nuts he was eating would be a nice peace offering. In retrospect, that was one of my better ideas, wasn't it? New journal entries have been unlocked. Act 1, Chapter 4. We are speeding through this. The 5 layers. The fuck is the 5th layer? The fuck is the 5th layer? Fucking... I don't know. The heart. The fuck is this? Kingdom Hearts? Just kidding. I'm gonna check something real quick. Are we about to get a Keyblade? Hey. Don't joke on Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts is fucking amazing. I can't narrow what motivated me to return to Renai down to a single thing. At first, the money, obviously, but when the knight mentioned the town's name, homesickness overcame me. Not even the long travels with my father elicited such a feeling. However, the Renai of 9 years ago is gone. Dad isn't here, there's a new duke, and the town has changed. Cadgan remains, but that is enough to shake off the cold. In the northwest section of town, dubbed the Barren, the spread-out shacks have been removed to make space for new houses and a hospital, though only a crude sign identifies the latter. The stables are where I remember them being, although no one is around yet. The rain did just stop. Rather than waiting to get a ride, I go to the Duke's mansion on foot since it's not that far. On the way there, my thoughts shift to the new Duke, Manuel. Many times I heard of him. He's become very well known in medicine in recent years. Both an accomplished surgeon and researcher, he's authorized an enormous collection of journals on the bodies of many civilized species. His work is so all-encompassing, some consider it mandatory reading no matter which discipline you practice. Snagged some of his works over the years, and I can attest there's some truth to that. His journal on boards saved my skin last summer when I had to treat one on short notice. Nothing can completely compensate for a lack of experience, but it's nothing short of amazing how much one can learn about people from faraway lands thanks to him. Not to mention he came up with some useful gadgets, such as my glasses. It's admirable that he's accomplished so much at his age despite his circumstances, which is why the suffering he's caused in Renai makes me conflicted, and I wouldn't have returned if not for him hiring me. I don't know what to think. The mansion is as I remember it, except for 2 guards stationed at the entrance. After explaining who I am, they let me in, and one of them escorts me to the Duke's study. Oh? Inside it's as excessive as it was during Leopoldino's time, just with more bookshelves than shiny displays. What stands out is a sweet scent that I don't recall. Some of it is herbs, wax, and oil? There's more than I can't recognize. We're already at the study's door anyway. Please wait here. After a minute of staring at a portrait of sad-eyed lioness, the guard returns with an announcement. Dr. Hector of Oblon, Duke Manuel Leopoldo Sebastio Maria Jose Fiel Arago Manuel Ricardo. He takes a deep breath. De Restauracao Gonzaga de Florenza e Burgundia e Veneza will now see you. What? Most normal name. As I enter the study where Dad and Leopoldino once held many private conversations, light hits me on the face. Behind a wooden desk, a window at least twice as tall as I am overlooks the garden and separates the study from a balcony almost twice as wide as itself. Perfect for enjoying Renai's afternoon. To either side of the window are cabinets full of prizes, and above those diplomas, many of which are written in what I can only assume are foreign tongues. The other walls are mostly occupied with diagrams, anatomic models, more bookshelves, and cupboards brimming with ornamented glasses and wine bottles. I find the Duke in the center of the room, working next to an operating table. My heart almost jumps out of my chest when I see what's on it. A vivisected wolf corpse with its guts and organs spilling out. The ribbed cage has been sawed apart, removed, and set aside. The legs missing, revealing precise surgical incisions, the flank cut open, under it a sickly tinted liver. Yet there's no smell of ammonia, nor the smell of death. The Duke looks at the liver intently, probing at it with a pen. Wax! It's all made of wax! What is it? Does your kind lack the gift of speech? Oh, gather your wits, Hector, and remember the proper greeting. I am Hector of Oblon. I am honored to be in your presence, your grace. The Duke places the pen on a tray and takes off his glove. He frowns at me. What are you, sort of witch doctor? I hesitate before reaching into my belt bag and taking out one of my elixirs. I suppose so. I didn't specialize in surgery, your grace, but I'm a skilled healer. Allow me to see. He takes the elixir, inspecting with a prismalium monocle he produces under his coat. Then the lion nods, satisfied. Acceptable. And while returning the elixir, his eyes trail down into my belt. Is that a pair of prismalium glasses I spy? Indeed. That green tint is unmistakable. Duke Manuel drags a finger across the monocle's metallic frame. It's one of my first designs, but I'm still quite proud of it. It utilizes copper as a conduit to more effectively power the crystal. I'm going to activate it by gathering magic just on the tip of your fingers. It reduces the strain on the user's eyes significantly, too. He clears his throat. Excellent. You're better prepared than it appears at first glance. Truly, doctors can come from any background these days. Thank you. What am I meant to do, then? He opens one of the desk drawers and takes a badge from it. His golden leg is noisy as he walks. Take this and head to the hospital. There you'll receive your instructions. You spotted the hospital on the way, yes? Indeed. Before I go, could you allow me to ask a question, your grace? He glances at the wax sculpture, but ultimately gives me the time of day. Read in discreet terms what Cadgan told me and ask what he's trying to accomplish. So the wolves already told you about my expedition. It's wise of you to seek my side of the story. Those savages can't understand the greatness of my mission. If it's wise, then why am I already regretting that I asked? Though my only choice is to listen now that I opened my fucking mouth. He approaches a bookshelf and grabs a thick volume, holding it to show me its cover. The 5 Layers. The foundation... Hang on. The 5 Layers. The foundational title, the basis of modern medicine. Do you know how old this work is? It was published in the 2nd century. The year 162 by an alchemist and healer named Karina, making it 710 years old. In 7 centuries, we have made little advancement in our understanding of medicine. What's more, the 5th layer, reason, remains a mystery to us. I intend to advance medicine by finishing Karina's work and unraveling the 5th layer's secrets. And you think the truth behind those secrets hides in the Eye Valley? I have reasons to suspect the Eye Valley will help me further this objective. If only that corpse would remain dead. Corpse? He sighs as he returns the book to its place. The demon, which shouldn't yet does, exist. The Renai of 9 years ago is gone, where once its demons were brought up with pride for an era long gone, or of mischief to scare an impressionable foreigner. Now they are spoken about as though a present threat, be it because speaking of them lightly will incur the wrath of a duke, or because they do still exist. Manuel turns away, revealing the right side of his face. What are you staring at, cur? Forgive me, I wasn't expecting to hear that from you, your grace. Keep your eyes to yourself unless you want to lose them. Now, enough of you. Away! By the time he waves me off, I'm already excusing myself. While I have learned what the Duke wants, I am still baffled by questions about the Eye Valley, the 5th layer, and the demons of Renai. However, you have work to do, Hector. Don't get distracted. I know it's early. I know it's very fucking early, but I'm trying to listen to my body more, and it's telling me to stop, so we're gonna leave off here tonight. Yeah. I am enjoying it, though. Take a big-ass snap, girly. My body's not going to let me sleep until, like, 2 a.m., like 1 or 2 a.m. Well, stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.